is Yucef Merhi, and I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. My work is about language, technology, and the historical. I feel that there is an incredible amount of things to learn on that relationship between language and technology, mainly because the reality that we are living now is mediated by language. Language is also the foundation of our existence. Everything that we do, everything that we make, everything that we reflect is first made with language. And I also came to the realization that language is the most sophisticated form of technology made by humans ever. All the materials that you can see in this space, all the elements, my clothes, the camera that is recording us, everything is or was made first with language. So when you combine language with new technologies, you open new realms of experimentation, of access, and that has enabled me to create dynamic works, installations, and works that deal with this flux that we are now experiencing at its height. Since 1985, I've been using the Atari 2600, which is the first video game console that was globalized to make works that use game cartridges that I manufacture, that I code, that I program, to question deep philosophical, poetic, and human aspects that I find necessary to keep experiencing. Also, the experience of these technologies allows me to speak about the history of technology. So all the works that you see in my studio, all the works that I do within my practice come from a quite personal space, a space of vulnerability, of discovery, of self-understanding, of healing. I feel that healing is tremendously powerful, especially when it comes to the making of a work of art. In a way, art is mirroring who we are, what we do, and what we want. And I'm taking advantage of that mirror, not only to mirror myself, but to mirror our time. And the technologies that I use are identifiable in a way that you can see the Atari 2600 and say, oh, I grew up with that. I'm not against a completely digital experience at all, and NFTs, but I see that if you want to make something that is going to last for a long period of time, you need to have access to the structure that made it happen. And that structure lives at a physical level. If we are thinking about the future, then it's necessary to ask those questions. What's going to happen with this work in the future? If you are just playing around, that's completely fine. You don't have to think about it. You just experience it, right? But I have a responsibility, and I'm responsible for the work. So I need to assure myself and others that this work is going to survive whatever trend, whatever change that's going to take place now and in the future. Change is the most intrinsic principle of our existence, and we are changing. I mean, the person that you were at 5 years old, when you were 5 years old, and the person that you are now are two different persons with a new set of cells, with different bodies, with different thoughts, but you are still the same person, right? So that allows me to develop works that tackle the very nature of change. I converted my Atari 2600 into a computer and started programming. And by doing that, I was able to make movies like that one. I take my time to reflect. I feel that it's fundamental to make a pause, to take your time. And I feel that if you apply that at a philosophical level, you can get answers for problems that we have now, such as global warming and the fact that the landfills are getting filled with, electronic trash at a rate that it's almost unthinkable. So we are creating problems, but at the same time, if we stop and look at the problems, we can get the answers because we created those problems, so we have the answers. To be an artist is to take risks, is to experiment, is to defeat the way we have been taught to see and to perceive. So I feel that technology and apps and all of that, which I grew up with and embraced at a very young age, are extremely useful and necessary, especially to reflect on what's happening in the world.